chance to relax, hang out, and catch up. We drove down on a Friday afternoon. The weather was hot, almost 90 degrees, with a thick, sticky heat that makes your clothes stick to your skin. It smelled like sunscreen and ocean air as soon as we got into town. We spent the day walking around the boardwalk, playing games in the arcades, and watching people go by. The beach was crowded with tourists, kids playing with balls, families with umbrellas and snacks, and lifeguards yelling at people to move from the wrong areas. Everything felt normal. It was just a fun summer day. Later, we went back to the house, made some burgers, had a few drinks, and started playing some drinking games. By midnight, we were drunk and getting bored, and one of us, maybe Damien, said we should go back to the beach. There's something strange but peaceful about the ocean at night. The beach is almost empty. The air cools down, and everything feels calm. We didn't bring much with us, just some hoodies in case it got cold, our phones, and a flashlight Eric grabbed from the kitchen. We weren't going to swim or anything. We just wanted to hang out and walk a little. We walked down a quiet street to the wooden boardwalk, then down the steps to the sand. Like we thought, it was totally empty. The waves were coming in steadily, and the only light came from some lamps on the boardwalk and the moon behind some clouds. It was just bright enough to see where the water met the beach. We walked close to the ocean, letting the cold water touch our feet. We joked around, talked about random stuff, and just enjoyed being there. After a while, we stopped near one of those wooden lifeguard stands they take down at night and lay in the sand to look up at the stars. That's when Eric noticed something. He sat up suddenly and said, "Is that someone walking over there?" We all sat up and looked where he was pointing. At first, I didn't see anything. It just looked like a shadow near the water. But then I saw it too. A shape. A person walking slowly near the edge of the ocean, maybe 50 or 60 yards away. We figured it was just someone else out late, walking like us. But then we noticed something was strange. The way they walked wasn't normal. They were stiff and slow, like their arms didn't move right. Their posture was odd. Their head was tilted down, but not all the way. It looked like they were watching the ground or searching for something. We stopped talking and just watched. Something about it felt wrong. I remember whispering, "What are they doing?" Damien guessed they might be looking for something. Eric laughed and said maybe it was a drunk tourist who lost their phone or keys. We all laughed a little and went back to talking, but I kept looking at the person. A few minutes later, I realized they had stopped moving. They were just standing still now, and they had moved closer, about 30 yards away. That's when I started feeling nervous. We tried not to look too much or shine the flashlight, but it was getting harder to ignore. The whole thing felt weird. Damien said, "They've been standing there for like 5 minutes. Who does that?" Then Eric said something that made my stomach drop. He said, "He's not just standing. He's watching you, Ryan." I didn't know if he was joking. I laughed a little and said, "Nah, he's looking at the ground." But Eric shook his head and said, "No, look again. His head is tilted towards you." Then he pointed the flashlight at the guy. I didn't even want him to, honestly, but he turned it on and aimed the light. It hit the guy for just 1 second before the battery started dying and it flickered out. But that 1 second was enough. I saw him. He was pale, almost white, and had no shirt. He was wearing wet jeans like he had just come out of the ocean. His arms were hanging at his sides. His head was tilted in a strange way, not broken, just off. And his eyes were wide open and bulging. The second the light hit him, he moved, fast. He didn't hesitate at all. He went from standing still to running full speed toward us. It looked all wrong, like he jumped into motion out of nowhere. through the sand. My chest was burning. We didn't stop until we got to the steps up to the boardwalk. We didn't look back until we got to the street. But he wasn't there. The beach was empty. No figure, no footprints. Just the sound of the waves. We stood there, breathing hard, trying to figure it out. We didn't talk much walking back to the house. When we got inside, we locked every door and window, closed the curtains, and stayed up until morning. None of us could sleep. I kept expecting to hear knocking or see that pale face at the window, but it never came. The next morning, we tried to laugh about it again. Said it was probably some weird guy trying to scare people, but deep down, none of us believed that. The way he moved, the way he showed up out of nowhere, the fact that there were no footprints, it didn't make sense. We stayed one more night, but we didn't leave the house. We left early the next day. Over the next few weeks, we tried to forget it. But then Eric sent me a text one night. He said he was having the same dream over and over. He would wake up and see the guy standing in his room, soaking wet, head tilted, just staring at him, not moving, not saying anything, just standing there. I told him that was creepy, but I didn't tell him I was having the same dream. The same guy, same pose, just standing in the corner of my room. No talking, no moving. Sometimes I wake up thinking I hear wet footsteps in the hallway, but when I check, no one's there. Then last week, almost a year later, I was scrolling through a Facebook group for Cape Haven. Someone posted a photo they took the night before at the beach. It was dark and blurry, but I knew right away what they meant. They wrote, "Does anyone know who this creepy guy is I saw by the water at 1 a.m.? I tapped the picture. It was hard to see clearly, but I recognized him. Same body, same pale skin, just standing there, looking at the ocean. The comments made it even worse. Dozens of people said they had seen him too. Some said he stood there for hours. One person said they saw him walk into the water and never come out. Someone else said they found wet footprints on their back porch, 2 streets away from the beach. No footprints leading to or from them. I don't know what we saw that night, but I know this. I'm never going back to that beach at night again.